And a pleasant Sunday afternoon, evening to you all. Hello, welcome. Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. Slant Alpha, thank you so much for the 67-month reinscription. And I thought it was a rock solid line to use, by the way, just for the record. Even though I don't think you're supposed to think it's rock solid, but I did. It was well done. We have Dacta Zulu also here. And yeah, good to see you guys. I'm going to be doing something a little different today in the old Starshipy, and I hope you guys enjoy. It's been pretty fun messing around with this. Honestly, It's using the VLF, very low frequency Omega navigation system that's in this aircraft. And yeah, I've learned a ton. I don't know very much about it, so this is in many ways it's just me kind of putting out like where am I at this particular moment. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff that is not correct, and so be it. But I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put out what I've learned to this point, and who knows, maybe somebody will see the video and be able to suggest more resources to correct the things that I am not doing right, or maybe there are a few things that I'm doing correctly that they'll say, yeah, you're on the right track. Keep going. I don't know how much I'll do in terms of this type of navigation, but yeah, let's mess around a little bit. Oh gosh, and I just realized something that I had forgot to get my correct controls here. So stand by while I do this. While I do this, I'm going to show you the route that I have planned here, you guys, and you guys can look at this. It's essentially Goose Bay to Iqaluit, and the thing about flying up here, as you guys probably are aware, is that the presence of VORs and NDBs are becoming less and less and less. And so this is, in some cases, a really good way to sort of like go back to the future, if you will, to use some old school navigational techniques to make up for things that are now missing due to GNSS, the global positioning. And so yeah, we're kind of coming full circle in a way, because you wouldn't fly this route today. Even using VOR to VOR, you just wouldn't do that. The VOR stations are too few, and the distances are too vast, and so you would have to have GNS, or you would have to have this VLF, very low frequency Omega navigation. So the cool thing about this, though, is it kind of frees up and you can do some different things. So like, for example, we do have an NDB up here, the Nain Airport NDB. So we could come over here and we could plan that as part of our route. And I mean, it would make sense to do that. But then you could also come up here and say, what I would love to do is I'd love to just make sure I'm going over the tip of the last little bit of land. I want to have a waypoint and along for that point, and then we're pretty much going to go right up into Iqaluit. If it was daytime VFR conditions, it probably wouldn't be too bad. You just follow the coastline, right? You come up the bay and you'd be good to go. But I don't know that that's the case today. In fact, I've made it to where it's going to become night, and so we're going to have to rely a little bit on some extra navigation to do that. So point being is this: where you are right now at Goose Bay. You have a latitude and longitude at Goose Bay. You have a latitude and longitude at the Nain Airport, and you have a latitude and longitude at this whatever this. I'm sure this has a name. I don't know what it is. And then you have a latitude and longitude here at Charlie Yankee Fox Bravo Iqaluit. So if we have those things, we can use the Omega navigational system to get us from point A to point B, basically. And it's like I say, it's kind of fun. So I'm going to put this in here, and give me just 1 second to update a couple things. I'm going to show you a couple of tools, both in the aircraft as well as things that you have available to you on the web to help you if you like this kind of old school type of navigation. And yeah, you can mess around with it yourself. And again, if you know more than me and you can see that I'm doing something completely wrong, feel free, speak up, we can talk, whatever. But yeah, let's get going here. So here it is, the lovely and talented Starship, and we have to make sure that the parking brakes are set. We're gonna get some external power here to the aircraft, I think, to begin with, and just try to warm things up a little bit. Let's check something real fast. Yeah, 28 valves. That's good. We'll get the standby indicator gyro business fired up here as well, and we can do a master battery. We can get our ECAS and other avionics systems warming up here as well. Actually, pretty nice weather, all things considered, as I look at it. Goose Bay is VFR, and Iqaluit is currently VFR. It certainly can get a little nasty up here in. Is this Newfoundland? Is this where we're at here? But anyway, and so let's get some fuel. We got one other dude crazy enough to come along with me. It's me and you, Slant Alpha. We're just we're the only guys crazy enough to do this. Fly an old school route in an old school plane in a tough part of the world in winter. Should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. And how much fuel do I need here? Let's take a peek. I'm going to. Oh, I thought I had. Doggone it! I thought I had the old flight plan ready to go for you, but I don't. It's all right. Won't take long. We're a Starship, Beechcraft Starship. And there it is. All right, cool. We'll go in kilograms. That's fine. And yeah, so here we go. It's a little bit of a longer flight today, and again, kind of purposely that way. I'll explain when we get going. But flight time of about 2 hours and 41 minutes today. So we're going to need 1,572 kilograms of fuel. What do we have on? Yeah, we don't have that. I think we just need to fill up all the mains here for sure. By the way, Slanty, I think this is going to be the bird of choice for the cross the strait. I think we're going to be able to get there. So 14, I need a little bit more. 15. Yeah, so 1547. Just a glug more here. Hey, Whip, what's going on? Welcome, guys. Yeah, so just pretty close to being totally full on this guy, but that's fine. Whip, good to see you. Thanks for coming in, and nice to see you guys. Yeah, man, it's across the inside passage. That's right. It's going to be fun. I agree. All right, so just a couple things. Of course, the nice thing about doing this type of navigation, it's kind of like when you're doing just regular radio navigation. There's not a whole lot to set up in terms of flight planning. You just have to, you kind of have to monitor as you're going. And so for us, like, yeah, Whip, this is cool, man. We're just gonna use the Omega system. Well, we're gonna use the VOR system as well, but we're gonna use the Omega system today and see if we can find our way up to Iqaluit here in I think it's Newfoundland. But anyway, so the first thing I'm going to hop into is I'm going to go to my system control, and I'm going to take a look here. This doesn't really matter because we're flying it, ourselves. We're going to use the FMS as our nav source, but only in the extent that we're going to need it for our positioning. So we're interested in the sensors here that we can use. So this is kind of cool. You can turn these on and off. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the VOR DME sensor on, and the VLF and Omega system on. I'm turning off our GPS stuff. I'm turning off the magenta highway. So it'll be no. Would you really ever do this in real life anymore? Yeah, probably not. But for the sake of our stream, that's what we're going to do. And honestly, there's not a ton of difference between, chasing the VOR DME, having this on or off. Really, the only time that you would turn this on is if you were able to track some sort of a DME and or VOR, and we really don't have that today. In fact, we don't even have that capability as we're getting into Iqaluit. So actually, I'm just going to turn it off as well. And we're just going to go nothing but VLF Omega today. and see what we can get. So right now, not a whole lot of signal strength on the ground. You can see we're picking up some stuff from Great Britain. Not, you know, Maine and Maryland are kind of our strongest ones right now. When we get flying, and when the aircraft kind of gets a better sense of where we are in the world, those will increase. So anyway, that's what we have here. Let's go to the FMS. Let's go to our status. And so right now, what it's telling us is this is what it thinks our position is. 50, 18.6, 60, 24.0. It has an uncertainty of over 4 miles, which is not good. One of the things about this system is it was pretty accurate, and especially the people that knew what they were doing could get within, you know, a mile or two. So I think we can do better than this. And right now, I don't know why it's saying we're not using these. Probably again because we're just not up in the air, and it doesn't know where we're at. So so we're going to do this. We're going to go to flight plan, and we are going to actually, no, I take that back. We have to get our position in here. Yeah. So we are going to actually enter in our lat and long, and just see how close we are to where it thinks we are right now. So I'm just looking at my sim brief profile, and I'm not going to get all the way down to the, you know, to the where I am on the field, like the gate latitude and longitude, because I'm just at the GA ramp here. I'm just going to put in the general lat and long for Goose Bay. So it's north. It's 5319. Actually, I can just type this in. 5319.2. So as you can see, we're a little different there than what it's thinking. And this could be in some ways more accurate, but it's okay. It's just how we're going to do it. And then we are west 06025.5. So that's, you know, pretty close, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to update this position fix. See, that gives us a little bit more well, a little less uncertainty. So that's a good thing. And we can do that as often as we need, by the way. And then we're going to update the VLF as well from the FMS. And so that's going to be about as much as we can do to kind of let the world know where we are, let the aircraft know where we are as well. So, yeah, so that's it for that. And we are now ready to kind of get the rest of the aircraft going, get the engine started, and be on our way.
Thanks for subscribing.
Oh, Fixie. Thanks, buddy. Good to see you, man.
Omega, meet O'Melvin.
That's right. That's right. It's good. This could be really interesting, but I don't know. I've had fun with it. So, what's up, Right On? Good evening, sir. All right, so let's see. I have fuel quantity, everything's in, oxygen pressure, all that stuff is good. Battery. Let's get this thing started here.
Fixie.
Very good to see you guys. Of course, one of the best things about this is the drawer full of circuits. Those all look good. Those are fine down there and over here as well. As we go. You know, I'm just going to say this, but I think if there's ever a time to just mess around and have some fun, it's right now, right? end of Thanksgiving break. Everybody's brain is coming down off the tryptophan high. Everyone's in withdrawals. If you're like me, you think you need to have pie at the end of every meal. And so why not just try something completely silly? We are not at all on VATSIM today, but we could set our you know, all of our stuff that we need to here for the avionics. We'll just pretend we are on 2280 and all that good stuff. Not going to worry too much about that. Icebird, hey. If I have it closed, no breaker can jump out. That is right. Yeah. And somebody else brought it up. Is that, like, wouldn't it get a little warm in here? Is it just me, or maybe there's some bleed air that's going in there somehow. I mean, who knows? I don't know. All right, so that's good there, and let's see, everything else is turned off here. Off and off. All of this stuff is fine. We should be navving right now, and we're getting ready to start the engine. So we'll do a little low beacon light action. All right, sweet. So we've got to turn things off here for our engine start. And whoops, I need to leave one of these guys on because I need to know if my engine is engineing. Okay, here we go. Sometimes the pie is the mill. This is true. This is very true. All right, looking for at least 12 on the end one, but I'm gonna let it go a little higher. And I should also have those full forward. Okay, there we go. Hello. Okay. Oh gosh, I might have just screwed that up. That should be an idle, by the way, not beta. Last night, good fixins. You can appreciate this, I'm sure, with that last comment, but there was there were two pieces of apple pie left. Okay, one of them was just a solid, like it was all there, but the other one, you know how the filling kind of leaks out a little bit, and like every time you get a piece of pie, you sort of take the filling of that extra one, you know. So by the end, like there's only like really truly like a half a piece, right? So last night I loaded that up, that full piece plus the leftover piece, and then same thing with the ice cream. The ice cream, there was like a legit kind of solid, like 2 scoops, but then there was like just a little bit more, like probably another scoopish. The skeleton piece, yes. So I ended up having like a piece and a half of pie at the end of the day yesterday, and yeah, that I paid for that all day today. So it does. It's just cobbler. At a certain point, it's just cobbler. So right, it's, you know. So anyway, but I put it out of its misery. I didn't want anybody else to have to suffer with like a half a piece. I mean, why? I was thinking about really my family. I'm actually happy that there was a piece and a half left after my crew got out of here because, yeah, I got a bunch of little carnivores, little pie carnivores in my family now, apparently. All right, we're good there, you guys. Let's turn stuff back on here. And we got gens on, so we can turn off the external power. Let's check our triple feed. We're looking good there. Let's check our center bus. The buses are busing. Feeds are feeding. And that is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. All this is good here as well. And yeah, the light's getting low again. That's on purpose because we're not trying to fly this thing visually today. We're going to really truly try to fly it according to the Omega beacons. All right, that's ready to go. We need a timer. That's important, and we do have to reinitialize things. And I may have to. I might have to redo this. 5919. Crap. I'm gonna redo this. Update the position. Yeah, that long. Let's do this again. All right. It's we are 5319.2 and 060255. Still kind of getting used to, you know, a little bit of like how to do things in the order, and I'm still a little bit out of, you know, out of order, I think, in some of this stuff. All right, so that's all fine, and again, we don't really need much else at this point in time, unless we need to update things. And then this, again, we need the position summary so that we know that we're this is where we think we are. And this would be the first job, right, of the flight engineer, would be to make sure that your current position is is where you're at. And if you're at Goose Bay, that's a known latitude and longitude, right? So that wouldn't be a surprise. Okay, external power can be turned off. You can go to bed. And we are ready to taxi out and be on our way. We should use runway. What should we use today in Goose Bay? Runway Windsor 180 at 8. So some kind of a southerly departure here. And yeah, we got a runway 26 that we can use. I think that'd be fine. So that's basically just taxiing to our right on hotel. And we kind of go across runway 33, and then we are out on 26. Sweet. I did the selfless thing. Yeah, well, and I don't, like, am I a hero? Maybe. You know, maybe. All right. Oh, boy, I need to get some defrost on here as well. We're sitting here just turning into a giant ice cube, aren't we? Let's get that going. We might as well get the windshield heat on as well. And my guess is we're probably going to ultimately need some anti-icing. I also need to get my chair situated here. Okay, hanging it right. And we'd make some traffic call. Goose Bay traffic, Starship 816 from the East GA. Got a taxi, runway 26, Goose Bay. All right. I got a boot fail here. That's not good. I got icing. That's not good. Yeah, I guess we're gonna probably hold short of 3.3 and just get everything turned on here. And we've got a boot fail probably because we've accumulated a little bit of ice already. It's the double challenge of managing the systems as well as navigating. All right. We're going to hold short over here of 3.3. Whoops, I kind of missed my turn a little bit here. And let's get everything else turned on so we have time to sort of warm up, because we're not going to see one single thing. All right, condition levers full forward. We've got landing lights coming on. Everything else here is fine. Nothing to see here. Seatbelts. You better get your seatbelts on, folks. I'm telling you. All right, let's do it. Cody, what's the matter, dude? I think he's trying to tell me he needs to go out and use the little doggy's room. Boy, I feel like we got our RPM, so I don't feel like we've got a lot of ice on the propellers or anything, so that's good. All right, there we go. We've got, this time we have some airspeed. That looks a little bit more like it. And pitot overheat. See, if you turn the pitot on too soon, that's what you get. But don't worry, it'll cool off here quickly. Here's 100. And we're just going to ease this baby up. I think maybe I tried to get a little too aggressive with the climb last time. It was hard to tell. There were lots of mistakes made. Getting close. Come on, girl. You can do it. There's 130. Will she fly? Will she fly? A lot of fuel on board. 130. There she goes. All right, positive rate. Here comes the gear. And all right, I don't mind that. That's better. That's better. We have a little terrain here, so we're going to try to turn quickly, avoid the terrain, and get on course as soon as we're able here. Pull the engines back just a little bit, manifold and RPMs back just a bit. And we're getting kind of slow, but I'm pitching up a little aggressively here. Let's keep it a little bit more chill. Coming around, Goose Bay traffic, Starship 816, turning left crosswind, departing the area to the north. We're climbing 1,500 Goose Bay. Okay. This is going to be one of those climb outs, I think. We're pretty slow. We're clear of terrain. That's the one good thing about here is not a lot of terrain. Okay, let's bring the flaps up. We're on course right now, so I'm going to go ahead and, well, it started already. Started the timer for some reason. Okay, hold on here. We're going to go heading, and I might just go indicated airspeed right now. No, I don't want to descend. Oh, it's trying to descend, probably to hold that heading. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. That looks good. Oh, I forgot to reset my altitude. Okay, stand by. Let's get on heading again, and somewhere around $140 would be pretty good. Actually, that's not horrible. That'll be all right. Okay, that's good. 35,000. And we're descending. I'm not sure why. Oh, because it locked in the altitude. Boy, this plane is fighting me today for some reason, you guys. All right, let's trim it. Trim it, trim it, trim it. Let's get stable. I want the heading mode here, which is what we have. And maybe we'll just go with VS then. Flight director, I'm fine with flight director. What do we want to get our VS to? About 1,500. That's probably good. Yeah, somewhere right about there. Okay, let's try that again. And no, heading VS. Okay, does not want to. It doesn't want to let me arm things today. All right. Well, we're going to be climbing kind of quickly, but that's fine. We're going to call that on course, and let's set the. I want the stopwatch. All right. Let's get it going here, and we're going to call our airspeed. Yeah. Remember we initially were thinking 200, so that's fine. And so back to, well, actually, hold on, I'm not quite all the way configured here. 35,000 through 4,000. Okay, we're doing good here. We're going to pull back on the RPMs. We want 1,600 for continuous climb and somewhere around 90% torque. So we're a little bit high on the torque-o-meter. Pull the power back slightly. We don't need to be in a hurry. There we go. Our power setting when we do our, the farther we go, the more we're going to pull back on the power here just to save fuel. Oops. All right. There we go. About 90 and 90. That's close enough. All right, cool. So we're on the way, and we're going to be tracking. And again, guys, we're going to just be essentially checking our position based off of where we should be. So another nice thing about the Sky Vector chart here is that it does a lot of pilot math for you. So the first place we're going again is Goose Bay up to Nain, a fairly short, just 198 mile run. But I'm sure you guys have seen this. You click the mini log, and currently right now our speed's about 200, and we're going to be at, I don't know, we're 10,000 feet here in just a little bit, but it tells you how long it's going to take. So this first leg here should take us about an hour roughly, which that'll obviously get a lot less when we get up to cruise and we're doing 300 true, but that gives us an idea of how long it's going to take us to get to our point. Now, from what I understand, the flight engineer didn't just say, all right, cool, I'm just going to wait for an hour and check the position. They check the position about every 10 to 15 minutes just to see if they're on course. And that's what we're going to try to do here as well. And so there's another tool that you're going to need if you're going to try to do something like this. It's called the lat long converter, because you can put in to SkyVector, you can see we can actually put in a latitude and longitude. So that's that point right up here. Like you can manually put in a latitude and longitude, and you can see like how far off you are on your intended line of flight. So that's what we're gonna do today, and that's the digital version of what the flight engineer would be doing. So we're making it a little bit easier. All right, I think I've settled down. I'm done breaking things. Welcome back. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea here, and pretty much we're gonna we're gonna be pretty close to top of cruise here. Yeah, we're not climbing, we're not breaking any records here, are we? About 1,500 feet, but that's okay. We're really making good progress across the ground, so maybe it's better that way. I don't know. All right, we're out of icing, and potentially some more icing coming up here, but I'm gonna say that we're gonna go ahead and turn some of this icing off, anti-icing off, and left and right. Nope, it's off now. There we go. Takes a second to extinguish. That'll take a little bit of the load off the gens. And okay, there you go. All right, flaps are up, gear is up, stowed, landing lights. We're gonna go ahead and turn those guys off, and we're gonna just go our regular anti-calls. Let's turn this up a little bit because we're gonna probably need it. It's gonna get dark pretty soon, and yeah, we're on our way. .230. Okay, so I'm updating my SkyVector data, and it says now we've got about 52 minutes to that first leg. And again, as soon as we get up to cruise, it'll be, like, I don't know, half an hour or so, maybe a little bit more left. Or no, actually it'd be a little over half an hour for the total leg, but we'll have most of the leg kind of tackled by the time we get up to cruise. All right, so the last thing I need to show you is what we're about to do in terms of checking position. So here we go. This is going to be a masterpiece, I'm sure. So for those of you that aren't familiar with what the VLF Omega stations did, it was basically like you'd have a tower up here. Is that a beautiful looking rendition of a Omega tower or what? And then you might have another tower. So you'd have like a tower north of you and a tower kind of like west of you. I think there were a total of 8 towers, and the towers were spaced. Not sure it's a click. I think we're doing okay. The towers were spaced such that you essentially could your aircraft could always be in communication with multiple ones at wherever you're at. 3, I think, is what one person said, and 5 was what someone else said. Anyway, there was only 8 of them, and 8 of them gave you complete coverage around the entire world. So anyway, so you have these. So here you are. You're flying. Let's say you're flying from Goose Bay to Iqaluit, and this is your route, right? This is what we're hoping to do. So what you would have is a VLF chart, and the VLF charts would have basically these lanes. Okay, so the lanes would go like this, and they were spaced. I'm gonna mess this up. They were spaced a certain number of miles apart. I don't remember what that was, but they were all stationed a certain number of miles apart. And basically, what happens is they're all coming off of that VLF station, which is, it's obviously elliptical, but by the time it got to where you were, right, they just look like parallel lines. They were far enough away from the station that they were parallel lines. And then so you had the same thing with your station that was, maybe to your west. And so you have these VLF charts that you used, and essentially that's kind of what everything looked like for you. And your job was to tune in. You would have a VLF radio, essentially an Omega tuning radio, and it would tell you where you were based on whatever station you were looking at. So like if you were looking at your station to the north, it might give you a reading of 390.75 or whatever, and that would tell you, all right, that means that we're kind of like, you would take your straight edge, right, and you would score. That was terrible. It needs to be bigger, but you would score a line. Oh my lord! I have a line tool. So you would score your line right here, and you'd say, okay, that's where I am, based on the main Omega station. And then you would tune in another one here. Maybe you'd tune in the North Dakota one, and it would tell you the same thing. It would say, 875.32 or whatever, and you'd score another line. And if you were doing your job where those two lines would come together, that would be your location, and hopefully it's somewhere along your route of travel, right? So that's the basic idea behind Omega navigation. So not a super difficult concept, but that's what we're going to be doing though with SkyVector. Is we're going to figure out our latitude and longitude, but we're not going to tune in an Omega station, because we don't have that radio. We have down here, we have an HF radio, but we need a VLF radio. So this, I was hoping this would help us out, but this does not do what we need to do. It does not tune in Omega stations. So essentially what we have, and we're through transition altitude, is we have this guy here that's doing all the hard work for us. He's the flight engineer that's back there with his straight edge and pencil, and he's getting all this data, and he's telling the captain, hey, we currently are 54 degrees 3.92 or 60 degrees 35.50. He's telling us our current position, and we're gonna plot that ourselves on this map and see, like I say, how close we are to really, really, truly being where we think we are. Because as you guys know, things change, like winds aloft. Look at this, 61 knot crosswind now, and so that's probably going to affect our position a little bit, right? So we're 11 minutes in, and I think it would be an appropriate time for us to do our first calculation. So we're going to take the lat-long converter, which is this guy here, and there might be other tools, but I like this one. So we're going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to be putting this information in that I see right here. So we're So we're 54, 8.56. And we are 60, 35.44. We're going to do a convert, and then we're going to come to the top, because this is the format I have to put it into SkyVector. If I try to put it in one of these two formats, SkyVector doesn't like it. So now I'm going to go to SkyVector, and I'm going to put this in right here, and it's going to put a little point in, and hopefully we're not, see, we're already kind of moved to the right just a little bit, right? So now it's saying, based on where we are right now, we now should be on a 149 heading, and so I'm gonna update. I'm gonna tell the captain we need to update our heading, and we need to be 005. So we're gonna change our heading a little bit here and go 005. Now I kind of think it's probably gonna need to be more than that based on the wind. So I'm going to come over to my E6B calculator, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to estimate, to me it looks like that wind is coming almost due west. It's almost like a 270 now. Oh, I'm getting blinky red lights. That's not good. Yeah, hold on. So I think the wind is kind of more like 270, and the strength of it is, well, 270 is my TAS, so the direction is 270, but now my wind speed is 6.9er. So that is now saying that I should actually be flying a 352 heading in order to stay on track. So let's do that. Let's go 352. And let's see if that gets us kind of where we need to be. All right, what are you not happy with here? What's going on? Cabin diff. Ah, shoot, I forgot to. Yep, sure enough. Anybody back there have a headache? We're going up to 350, aren't we? Yeah, I gotta set that. All right, Slanty. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't find something better to do. Enjoy your dinner, man. All right, so there we go. Now we should be more on track. And again, we'll just do the same thing here in a few minutes, and we'll see, if we're where we think we need to be. But that's kind of it in a nutshell, guys and gals. I mean, it's a matter of just using those Omega stations to just confirm that either you're on track or you're not. And if you're not, you make those adjustments as you go. And I mean, that's kind of the way that they did it. Obviously, this also was applied to ships that were trying to navigate, submarines. So I mean, there's lots of different industries that used Omega BLF navigation. So now you can see, yeah, we're good to go look at Maine. I think 8 is the highest that you can get. Maryland, those are the two that are kind of the closest to us. Great Britain, though, we're seeing that one, picking that one up pretty well as well, and even all the way down to Puerto Rico. Obviously we're not seeing much, but really here we're picking up. I mean, 7 of the 8. We're reading 7 of the 8, so that's pretty good. Now, what they also would do, because this is somewhat, this is pretty accurate, right? But there also were VOR stations that were prevalent when, I mean, this is kind of like the 80s, right? This isn't like the 40s. So if you happen to have a VOR, like that could just be, maybe you had a VOR over here or something, like you could do the same thing with your VOR, right? You could say, all right, my VOR says I am, I'm 275 and 53 miles. Like, Like it would just be another way to even get more accurate. You could use 3 Omega stations and a VOR if you wanted to. It just depends on like how accurate you wanted to get, or if you were thinking that your calculations were a little off, you know, you might pick a different, you know, combination. But anyway, that's you know, that's how the VORs worked alongside the Omega stations. Again, from what I understand, and hopefully I'm not way off on that, but that's kind of the basics. That's where I'm at in my knowledge currently with everything. Okay, outside air temp is negative. It's minus 44, so we're kind of past icing concerns. We'll leave the we'll put the windshield heat on low. We'll leave all the stall warning, pitot, static, ice protection on. Everything else we can leave off. We've got the we'll leave that on as well. We're trying to play catch up here with our pressurization. Sorry about that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, honestly. And you know, it's like, again, will I use this very often? Probably not. I'm considering maybe doing it for the vintage cross the inside passage or whatever we're calling that. But you know, it's one of those things where it's not going to be very useful if you're flying in an event where you really kind of have to be on course, right? Like if you're flying an FNO into Boston, like you're not going to, because they need you on the arrival, and they need you right there. You can't be wandering by 5 miles. Hey, Zilix, how's it going? Welcome in. But for something like this, you know, something like vintage cross the strait, it might be pretty dang cool. Give myself a little more power. I want to keep my ITTs below 840 here. Excuse me. And here in just another minute, I think we will do another calculation here and check our position. Silix, you back on the flight deck, my friend? Or are you still having some time off? Yeah, is your girlfriend sick and tired of you being around every day, and she's kind of said, you need to get back to work, dear. I love you, but you need to get back to work. Let's make sure nobody else snuck in here while I was icing up and having a bit of a moment. Icebird, did I say hi to you? If I didn't, hello. Bright On Man was here. Captain Whip checked in earlier. Good Fixins. Beethoven. Welcome, you guys. Back to work, back in Germany. All right, well, guten Abend then, my friend. 1,000 to go. We're leveled off. There's 20. And, all right, I'm going to put my, I'm going to update my position here. So we're 54. 45, 4.14, or 60, 44.54. And yeah, I know it's a moving target, but that's okay. It's just an estimate. And let's get leveled off. We're just about there. That last couple 500 feet is kind of tough, isn't it? All right, well, let's working on that. Let's come back over here. And let's, again, we were a little bit right of course here. Let's see if we've made a correction. So that's where we are now. And now we are, I would say, probably still a little bit right of course. But not too bad. I'm going to estimate, and this would be where the flight engineers would have calculations and they would know. But I'm going to say we need probably another, I'm going to say 5 degrees to the west. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. Now, all right, we are up up to cruise, and I'm probably going to leave my power setting, and maybe I'll back it off to like about 55 or so on the torque. Save a little fuel. That's the main thing, right? True airspeed is going to creep up close to 300. And yeah, we're doing 260 across the ground. That's pretty good. Pretty good for a twin turbo prop up here at 35,000. Do we have yeah, our cabin altitude or our pressurization is stabilized, so all right, as we get closer now, this is what I'm saying here, as we get closer to 300 on our airspeed, saying we've got about 21 minutes to go on that. Since we started our stopwatch at Goose Bay, so about 43 minutes total on this first leg, and all stuff, important stuff. So we're about halfway to our first waypoint here. So that makes pretty good sense. And we'll just see kind of where this tops out again. Generally speaking, we're somewhere in that 300-ish for true airspeed. And we could, again, certainly push it a little bit. The main thing for us is just to keep the ITTs below 840. But, you know, don't have to be in a big hurry here. Haven't given you any outside views yet, have I? Cold and snowy up here. Pretty remote country, to say the least. Snow creeping in, not so much along the coast. Not a lot of options if things go south, though. There's a great story in the book Fate is the Hunter that talks about an aircraft that gets stranded. I'm east coast of, I think this is Newfoundland. It's just north of Goose Bay. So it's way the heck up here in the east coast of Canada. But anyway, I don't remember why they landed, but they saw a lake. They were having some problems. They saw a lake. They thought they could land on the lake, and turns out that the snow was so thick that they landed fine, but they couldn't take off. They couldn't. They got the problem fixed and everything. Anyway, this was all way back before. You know, this was literally back in the 50s, and so they launched a bunch of search and recovery missions. It might have even been from Goose Bay, and they had to use pardon me, celestial navigation. They were searching for him in the daytime until they found him, and then they searched for him at night so that they could actually get their position based on celestial navigation. It was pretty dang awesome. And anyway, they ended up finding them. They dropped in a bunch of supplies. I think they were stranded for like a couple of weeks, but they were able to actually get, like, I don't know, freaking snowmobiles or dog sleds or something out there to get. They rescued all of them. It was a great story, but just pretty amazing. Like they would, when they started doing the search, it was in the daytime, and none of this stuff was even mapped, you know. So like they were naming the lakes as they were going. They were naming the little ridge lines, because that's how they had to, like, they were building the map as they were searching. And then once they kind of had their map built after 3 or 4 days, then they kind of could communicate and speak the same language navigationally, and that's when they ended up finding them. And then they're like, yeah, let's fly this same route, but let's use celestial navigation so we know exactly where we're at. it was a cool story. But yeah, I don't know. Like if you were having problems, like you would just have to pick the place that you everything would be frozen, right? So you in theory you could make a landing on a lake. Yeah, and Chris, that's a great point I forgot to make. That's why it was so um, that was so it was such an important like advancement. Well, first of all, welcome, broker. Nice to meet you, and I'm glad you came here uh, right now and not an hour ago, because an hour ago I was crashing because I had too much ice on the wings, and it was a less than stellar start. It was not as calming at that moment. But yeah, right now you got the twin turbine engines, right? You got a little east coast of Canada wind blowing through there, and
Welcome to Pop Culture.
thanks for the follow. All right, just about time to do another position check here. And we will do that shortly. Oh, I was going to tell you. So the other thing you can do, we're not going to do this, but if you were flying this, and if you've ever listened to Fly 787, Tom, who's a real life pilot, flew a lot of the airliners back in the day when this was actually used, and there would always be a little bit of drift, right? Like just a little bit of drift, kind of like you have INS drift, and when you're flying that 747. And he would talk about how they would have to, they'd have to account for that, and so you can do that in this. It's pretty cool. It's in this position hold, the same thing that we did when we were entering our initial position there. But what you can do is you can push your fix, and actually I would cancel this, but say you're flying over a VOR, you know the location of the VOR, you know all that stuff. As soon as you're over the top of the VOR, you push position hold, you would enter in your fix information, whatever that was, push enter, and it would update your position for you. And that would be a way that you could account for any kind of drift that you'd encountered. Really, I guess more kind of prevalent, like if you're making oceanic crossings, but still kind of a cool thing. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, we were looking at the sensors. Cool. And let's we're 30 minutes. Let's do one more, or let's do another position update here and see how close we are. So we're current position 55 and 2540, 25.40, and then 61 and 7.16. See how close we are, you guys. We should be somewhere here about 2/3 of the way. Yep. And so again, I think we're still a little bit kind of east of course, but I think we're correcting. And so I'm not gonna make any adjustments. We're just gonna kind of keep rolling with what we have right now. We've got 69 nautical miles to go, which is about 13 minutes. So we're planning, so about 43 minutes we'll be there. Broker, this is the Starship. It's the Beechcraft Starship from Black Square, and it's the first airplane I've ever come across that actually models the VLF Omega positioning, and so we're using that today to navigate our way across eastern Canada. And it's a wonderful aircraft, very unique, obviously, and a little vintage. And if you like Burt Rutan, this was his baby. good to go. You can add, by the way, if you wanted to, you can add courses and things like that here as well. I mean, and certainly there's nothing wrong with doing that. But, I mean, it ends up being helpful in like a case like coming up here. We are supposed to be outbound from our next. So once we get to this Nain airport, we're supposed to be outbound on a 001, and we're going to the tip of the little chunk of land here. I don't even know. That's got to have a name or something. But so we could set the course as like a little bit of a reminder for that 001. You can see right now we're already sort of fighting a crosswind. We're crabbing a little bit. Yeah, Chris, I bet you're right. I bet the 200 did have something. I bet they used that because again, any aircraft that flew basically through the 80s would have had it, right? So maybe the Super Constellation that may have been too old. I mean, it's not like this is World War II era technology because it really isn't. It's relatively. I mean, the 80s aren't modern. I feel like they're modern because I was in freaking school in the 80s. So, but yeah. Anyway. All right, and so we're going to do the E6B as well, you guys, and we are going to, so we can get some info on the ground here at, God, I wish I could read this better. Where's our, this is not giving me what I want. All right, so we'll cheat a little bit here. So, oh, actually, sorry, right here. So the Nain Airport is showing winds 220 at 7, gusting 16. So the main thing here is just getting an idea. We're not going to use 220 at 7 because obviously at 35,000 feet, right, it's a little different. And I don't know what tools they had available to them, but they probably had wind forecasts at that point in time. So let's just say that the winds are coming. Let's just say the winds are coming out of the west at 220-ish, but you can see on the dash here, right, 75 knots. So we're going to say wind speed of 75. We are currently doing 298, so we're going to call that an even 300. And we want to be the course. We want it to be basically northbound. It's telling us that we should plan a heading of 352 as soon as we cross over that point. Okay. So the VLF navigation, by the way, it's still in use. Actually, no, I take that back. It was decommissioned, I think, late in the 90s. As soon as the military sort of allowed civilians to use GPS, that's basically when VLF and Omega was shut down. But I guess I take it back. It was developed in the early to mid 60s. The initial operation use was 1971. So in the 70s and 80s was kind of the peak use. So yeah, all those aircraft in that era would have been using it. Accuracy was typically 2 to 4 nautical miles, sometimes worse, but again, it was revolutionary in its time because it was really truly the first ever global navigational system, and that was pretty cool. Some of those long-range radio towers, by the way, are still up. I had a couple of had a couple of pictures, and yeah, so there's one in France, there's one in Norway, there's the one in Hawaii, Liberia, and Japan. Yeah, they were 1,200 to 1,800 feet tall. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I think that there were other VLF towers that were. I think there were some that were added after the original 8. But now, like I say, I think there's only a few that are still standing. Okay, so here's one. So this is the one in Liberia, but yeah, massive. And they had, I mean, each one of these that's the track that you're seeing, basically, and the Omega receiver is tuning in to those frequencies to know where they're at. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. A cool idea, though. And it was one of those, you know how they say that the pilot operating handbook is written in blood. It was really like it was a terrible crash that was really finally got this idea going, and it was I'm trying to find the aircraft that crashed at the time, but it was pretty dang tough to, yeah, Korean Airlines, 007. They were flying from New York to Seoul, and they were coming off, they were heading over Anchorage to do it, so eastbound, and they strayed way off course, and they got into Soviet airspace, and they were shot down. And so that was kind of the when people said, all right, we need a little bit better way to be more accurate in our navigation. And that also, at the same time, was the kind of the start of people saying, well, we've got this global positioning system that's up in space that the military uses. Why couldn't we why couldn't we make that available to aircraft? And so eventually it all was right. It all came about, but anyway. Omega's out of service, but LORAN is still going, and I heard that there is a developer, Beethoven, that is actually creating a vintage, I don't know if it's a de Havilland or whatever it is, but it's gonna simulate LORAN navigation as well. So maybe another one that we're gonna mess with later on. All right, guys, we got to be getting close to our station here, guys. What did we say? Nain is at 5633. Yeah, we're getting close. And 6140 point. We are getting close, my friends. We're getting close. "42 minutes and almost 43 minutes is what we were predicting, so we're just about there." And at just short of 43 minutes, I'm going to take one last position summary. or position update, and we're going to plot it on our Omega chart, aka Sky Vector, and see how we're doing. You drove 370 miles today? Holy moly! Nah, dude, that's a pretty healthy drive, buddy. All right.
Oh, Minette.
Hi, Wisconsin. Hi, Ron. All right, here we go. 56, and we're not right on it, but we're probably close enough that we can start going to our next place here. 21.27 and 6140.96. Let's convert. Let's copy. Let's have a look-see. See how close we are. Just throw that right in there before YDP. Yep. And we corrected a little too much here, but what are we in? 12 miles. So we overcorrected a little bit, but that's all right. Let's turn north. Let's turn north for just a couple of minutes here while we kind of get our next round of calculations in. All right, so this next leg is taking us out to the edge here of whatever this little peninsula is. This little island out here is what we're shooting for. It doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a VOR, it doesn't have anything like that. We just know that it's got the latitude and longitude about 30 north and about 6 west, and we're going to shoot for that. This is going to be a leg that takes us about 55 minutes, and I think we're probably ready to start that. We calculated that we wanted our heading to be 352, so let's do this. Let's start our stopwatch. Let's go 352, which is what we're on right now, and we'll just kind of repeat that process. You have 2.5 hours left. Yeah, that's not too bad. While I kind of get this going, I'm going to give you a little outside view, and I need to go check on my laundry. It's a laundry day here at the Uncle Melvin household, so give me 2 seconds and I'll be back. We'll do a little position check. We'll keep making our way up to Iqaluit. Thanks again, you guys, for tuning in to the Melvin Leroy channel. All right, sorry about that. It took me a little longer than I anticipated. Hey, broker, I appreciate the kind words. Sorry you got caught by my mom bot. She's pretty sensitive, ultra sensitive and protective. But yeah, we try to make it stress-free, enjoyable. Right? We do this because we enjoy it, right? And it's fun. It's fun to fly old, cool airplanes. It's fun to, it's just like if you can't leave here, if you leave here stressed out, then I've not done my job. So thank you very much. I mean, I'm folding laundry, I'm watching football, and I'm flying Omega navigation, for crying out loud. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. At least I don't think so. All right. So, what in the name of... I kind of lost track with where we're at here. Okay. Oh yeah, we're getting ready to do a 10-minute... Oh yeah, it's almost time to do a little position update. Oh yeah, okay, so we're on our way. And Chris, right? Well, Beethoven, you're the one who actually kind of gave me that nudge to go ahead and try doing this. So you're as much to blame as anyone. And thank you. Our friend Beethoven, he brings a lot of positive things to the stream for sure. But well, it's a premiere, except for the first half an hour of it is nothing but a series of unfortunate errors that led to an ice up and a crash. So we'll just clip that out. Well, nobody needs to see that, right? So we're on our way out to the point there, whatever that is. Yeah, nobody saw nothing. And hopefully we'll be, like I say, we'll be somewhere close to where we're supposed to be. We've got, again, this is an overall flight length of 2 hours, 2 hours and 41 minutes. So it's a little bit, like I say, a little bit of a longer flight. No ATC. We're not on VATSIM tonight. We're not doing any of that. Pardon me. But I've had a blast so far, you guys. I appreciate you being here. All right, here we go. Time for another update. The position we're going to use here. Oh, we got a message. What's our message? Let's check we'll check our message afterwards. 15.10. And 15.10, and then 62 7 or 8.09. As it changes on me just continually, that's okay. So okay, and let's find out here, how are we doing? So now we're in between YDP and this. So let's see how close we are. And we're down here, sorry. Shoot, that ain't bad, right? That's not bad. We might be slightly drifting a little to the east again, but not half bad. I think if I was going to tell the captain an adjustment, like let's say 2 degrees. Let's shoot a 650 for a while. Yeah, pretty darn close, right, Beethoven? Not half bad. All right, what's our message though? What's our message here? What do we got? We need another update to our VLF. Okay, we'll do that. Oh man, yeah, 0.1. That's pretty good. Less a tenth of a mile off, according to the VLF. Cool, awesome. All right. Well, should we enjoy? I got just a last little bit of sunlight here, and I think we should probably just kind of enjoy it as much as we can. I can even make it a little bit better right here. Here you go. I'm just going to finish up folding the laundry. Yo, you're over here in Europe. You're like you're like Zilix then. You're yeah, you're from the future. It's past your bedtime, broker. Broker Algeria. I'm not going to say that last part there, but it's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate that, sir or madam. Get some more tunes going while I fold. My dog says welcome as well, by the way. He's an equal opportunity welcome dog. I mean, he's the heart and soul of the channel. Oh, he would be an awesome guy to get feedback from because of his celestial navigational skill. Oh yeah, I think he's the expert. He's the professor of old school navigation, man. Yeah, if you guys have not watched Captain Arash, he's a Twitch streamer as well, and well worth the watch. Super knowledgeable and just an awesome dude. Met him in person at the Houston Flight Sim Expo. Was at the time he was doing a flight with Allison Johnson, right? They were tracing the one of the routes of, shoot, I'm trying to remember because I did a few of them where they were doing one of the Amelia Earhart routes, right? And I tell you what, yeah, he helped Allie just get right to where they were supposed to go. Man, it was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah. Talk about finding needles in a haystack, man. He was able to do it. No question about that. And it was pretty amazing too that it was just like this was early 2020. Like, well, I guess it wasn't early 2020, but it was Flight Sim 2020 was still kind of like not. It was still working some of the kinks out, if I remember correctly. I think now, in 2024, with the way they have the night, like you can really see the stars in 2024. He would have a blast for sure. All right, we're in. Oh, cool. Yeah. If you can find a link, Chris, that'd be awesome. Just super, super interesting stuff, I'm telling you. A little sad I'm folding up my WKRP Turkey Drop t-shirt. Only able to wear that sucker one time a year. Also kind of a bummer that I have the next load out is all my work clothes, which reminds me, tomorrow I don't get to lay around all day and watch football. So, but that's okay. There we go. Yep. So click on that link there, you guys, and you will see some fantastic, I'm telling you, top-notch old school nav. Speaking of old school nav, we're just about ready for another position check here. Another 30 seconds or so. See if I can get one more pair of socks folded here. Okay, there we go. All right. So let's see. $57. I got my clothes in the way now. 58.17 and 62.33.40. Oops. Okay, love it. Convert, copy. Let's come over to the old sky vector chart, which again, this is substituting for our omega chart here. Let's punch that in and let's see. I am not unhappy with that. We're supposed to be straight too. Again, I think we could probably, adjust a little bit more our course to the west. But the winds are letting up a little bit, so I don't want to go crazy here. But I'm going to tell the captain, let's go another 3 degrees to the west. See if that gets us where we need to be. All right, love it. So we're 20 minutes into a leg. This leg here, by the way, was going to take us about 55 minutes. This is the longest of sort of the 3 legs here. It was. There was legit times, Chris, when I was kind of like on the edge of my seat, like, were they really going to find, where they were going? Because I can remember, and I just did a dead reckoning, but when I flew my route, the Blue Spruce route, and I flew from wherever I was, Gander or whenever you make that first hop across from North America to Greenland, like you can't miss Greenland to the south. You just can't, because if you miss Greenland to the south, we were in the DC-3, you don't have enough fuel to make it. So that was a stressful flight, and it was lots of weather, and it was fun. We did it, we made it, but yeah, I had the same feeling when I was watching those guys navigate back in that series. It was awesome stuff. I wonder if I still have, I might still even have my my blue spruce route saved, archived on my YouTube channel. When I get done folding here, I'll take a look, see if I can find it. That was fun. Really like doing stuff like that. Oh, I ended up with a miscellaneous blue sock in that load. Just about done, you guys. All right. Ooh-ah. Oh, I didn't see that one, Beethoven. That sounds pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna do a little search of my own archive. So I take all of these Twitch streams and I end up putting them on my YouTube channel. The main goal is just to put a bunch of content out there, actually for my grandkids to discover down the road. And yeah, I think they'll get a kick out of things here. Maybe not, I don't know. Alright, this is going to take a while. Let's see, how do I... There's got to be a way to search by date, right? Can you search YouTube by date? Maybe it's in my playlists. Oh, maybe, yeah, historical flights. All right, maybe. There it is. Okay. So I'll let you... this is going to be, needless to say, even worse quality than what you're seeing right now. But... and this is definitely back in P3D days. But there's my oh my gosh, this is awesome. Yep. And we managed to find it, which was a kind of a bit of a miracle, but yeah. Kind of cool to see that. I might have to go back and watch that later on myself. So, yeah, anyway. Sorry about the ad break. Welcome back from the ad break. Sorry about that. But on our way again. If you're just tuning in, maybe you're in the background lurking. First of all, welcome. Nice to meet you. My name is Brant. Welcome to the Melvin Leroy channel. Channel is named after my grandfather, and today we're doing some stuff I think he would have got a kick out of. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe used a little Omega navigation back in the day. But yeah, we're flying from Goose Bay, Canada, up to Iqaluit, Canada. It's kind of on the east coast, basically. Well, not kind of. It's on the east coast. I think it's Newfoundland, but I don't exactly know. I'm not 100% positive of my geography, but it's out there, and we're just using simply very low frequency Omega navigation and trying to see if we can keep our position here such that we stay on course, and we're on the kind of about the middle, I would say. It's about an hour leg here to the tip of our little peninsula, and then we have a little bit of a water crossing, and then we'll be on the ground in Iqaluit. And I'm thinking we might. I tell you what, the cloud cover is not horrible. I don't know what the lighting situation is going to be, but we may even be able to use a little bit of visual navigation here. I tried to set the time so that we would have nice and dark skies, and we could, I couldn't cheat. Yeah, we're now here about every 10 minutes. We've been checking our position, and we're going to do that now. We've got a couple of tools we're using. One of them here is called the lat long data tool, or lat long data converter, and I'm using this because I have to take this position, I have to convert it to put it into sky vector. So if there is a tool out there that does it better, I don't know, you can use it, but 5841.33 I'm putting in, and then 63 6.30. It just switched over on me, but that's okay. We copy that. This is in the decimal. I have to take this right here is in degrees and decimal minutes, and I have to just convert it to decimal degrees in order for sky vector to like it. So we're gonna plug this in here and see. We should be somewhere in the middle, and yeah, not quite there, but pretty dang on course, I would say. I would be happy if I was plotting that on a piece of paper. Like, I think I'd be okay with that. We're within probably 10 miles or so, and so that's cool. That means that we also have only about 24 minutes to go, and so we're over halfway. Yeah, because we did 137, got 127 to go. So yeah, we're making good time. I can't even use the old line, we're lost, we're making great time, because we're not lost, and we're making good time. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. And it's nice to wind down on a Sunday. Everybody I know, well, not everybody, but a lot of you got to get up and go to work tomorrow, so we might as well just hang out on a Sunday, have some fun flying an old plane. This is the Black Square Beechcraft Starship. I can give you a little outside view. I don't know how well you can see it anymore, but that's our girl. Just a phenomenal aircraft. Super detailed and systems wise, and just a blast. I crashed it on departure out of Goose Bay when we got the stream started, so disregard the first half an hour of the stream, because it was me being a bad pilot, and I was in a hurry to try to get going instead of just following the checklist and doing what I'm supposed to do. But anyway, I digress. Second try was the charm. We just did a little belly landing and hopped out, grabbed our backup Starship, and we were off to the races. So, no harm, no foul, right? Doing pretty good here. We've been very, I think, very good with fuel management. We still have over half a tank, 11 and a half on both sides. It's just great. Everything else is happy, happy, joy, joy. Our avionics is good. You can overheat and break things just about in every part of this aircraft, and I think I have over the course of me learning it. We could put on here a little. We could put some. I just don't even know if there's any weather to look at, honestly. So I'm not sure if this is worth it or not. Oh, there's a little smattering of weather right down there. Just tiniest bit. Last little tiny bits of the day fading away. Looks like we got like a little bit of a, maybe not. I thought some lights down there, a little settlement. Yep, there. That's the calculator, the E6B calculator that we're using, the emulator. It's a great tool, and I'm not really using it like to its full power. I'm just using it to set the initial course, the initial heading to follow a course off of each particular wayside. Right on. They are. My personal opinion is, I think they're done. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna retire them. I think they only represent like less than 10% of the entire fleet for FedEx. So I honestly, this is just me. I don't have any insider info, but I think they're going to just retire them. Yep. Yeah, Western Global has furloughed theirs. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just done, unfortunately. I hate to see that, but I really hate to see that. But, yeah. What an iconic aircraft, right? Yep, I totally agree. I really do. Yeah, I think it probably boils down to, how many of the planes that they're inspecting right now have that same problem. I think if it was an isolated incident, I think the fleet would be back up and running by now. I really do. But I think they're finding. I get the feeling that they're finding that problem in more aircraft than they thought, and they may even be finding additional issues that they weren't expecting. So I think you just, like, at a certain point, right, it's more expensive to retrofit and repair and all that than it is just to order a new 777. So, but it'll be a sad day. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they still fly. I'd love to see them have more life, and because it's fun. I mean, when I don't see them very often, obviously where I live, but when you pull into when I drive into Denver and I'm going to the airport up on the hill, man, you can see the big old tail with that big tail engine. Man, there's nothing like them. They just are massive, massive aircraft. But yeah. But I was surprised when I found out that it represented less than 10% of the overall fleet for FedEx. Now, I don't know what that is for other like Global or, UPS or anybody else, but I thought it would be more. But I think they've been slowly retiring them anyway over the last probably 10, 15 years. So, our winds are picking up again. Nope, I'm sorry, they're even less. So they've been in the 70s. Our crosswind's been in the 70s. Now it's down to the 60s. So I bet on this leg we're going to be pretty dang close, you guys. Pretty dang close. Yeah, he probably has better insight for sure. Oh, he said, oh, sorry, you've asked him and they have no clue. Yeah. I guess maybe that's the best news you can hope for at this point, right? I mean, surely you would love to say, you'd love somebody to come out and say, yeah, it was an isolated deal. We're just out of an abundance of caution. We're just giving all these MD-11s a thorough, check. And I don't know how long it would take to check an aircraft like that, for all the structural potential failures and cracks, and like it probably does take weeks to do that. But in lieu of that, at least we're not hearing, they're done. We're scrapping them. So I guess no news is as good as anything right now. But every aircraft kind of has its lifespan, right? Here's the scary part, though, you guys. And I didn't realize this, but everybody thinks the MD-11 is super old and the 777 is like modern. And yeah, to an extent it is, but the design of the 777, it's only 4 years. Like the MD-11 was, I think it started back in like 1990 or something like that, early 90s, and the 777 was like the mid 90s. So it's not that much. like I don't know. Maybe the 777 is not the replacement for the MD-11 like I think it is. Maybe it's a different aircraft, but yeah. Disassemble all the wing engines. Yep. Yeah. No question. Yeah, MD-11 has a little bit more of that Airbus sort of mentality. Yeah, for sure. Ooh, hey, we're past our time. What are we just chit-chatting about, MD-11s or what? We got some navigating to do here. We're going to go 59, 32.92, and 63, 48.69. Okay. Let's update here and see how we are doing. Put this guy in right here. Man, we're right on the money, you guys. Another 71 miles, which is only 13.5 minutes. And yes, I mean, I'm not, if I was the engineer, I'd say keep on keeping on. That ain't bad. Yeah, nearly a month, 30 planes on the ground for FedEx. Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of money to have your plane in the maintenance shop. And again, if there was a fix, well, if there was not a problem, like those planes little by little, right, they'd be getting rotated back into service, right? Hey, Steve-O, talk about the MD-11s. We only have 13 minutes until the next waypoint, Beethoven. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I just think the news, it doesn't sound good from the guy sitting a million miles away. All right, so here we go, guys. Here's our next waypoint, the tip of this little whatever, this little island out here. And 217 nautical miles on a 354 heading. But we are going to do some E6B work here at the same time. So let's see if we can do this. We'll just get ahead of ourselves a little bit here. So we want to be traveling a 354 heading. Our airspeed, we're going to leave it at 300. We have no way of knowing what the wind is right here. We just don't. I mean, we've got a sim brief. We've got a sim brief thing, but we haven't been able to read that darn thing at all. So we're not going to worry about that. So all we've been doing is using the wind here, which is saying, this is now saying 56 knots of a crosswind. And I'm going to leave I'm going to say the wind is still about 240 maybe, and 65. So that's saying that we need to set our heading to 343, and that's what we'll plan on doing. Again, it's all an estimate, but it at least gives us kind of a fighting shot, and then we can just adjust because we're taking position readings every 10 minutes. So if we're a little off, then that's okay because we'll catch it in time. We're going to go back to this guy here because I can set my course to 354. That's what we're trying to. We're almost. We've been fighting this crosswind the whole time, so that's okay. But yeah, guys, I tell you what, we're essentially 2/3 of the way there. As soon as we get across this waypoint, we'll have about an hour to go. We'll have to start thinking about descent planning. It is light enough that we might even be able to see, like we're going to be out over the water a little bit, but we're going to be coming into this large bay that leads us into Iqaluit. And then the actual runway, we actually do have an ILS. I take that back. I didn't think we had anything. We have an ILS runway 34 that we could use. The weather conditions right now, though, they're not favoring runway 34 arrival. They're favoring a runway, what that'd be, 9? No, 3. What's the opposite? 16. So they're favoring the other way, and there's only an RNAV to that. So, but right now it's okay because we've got clear conditions. We've got scattered clouds at 1,700. Sorry, 17,000. So we should be able to fly this in visually. Excuse me. And yeah, pretty happy with how it's going so far, except for the whole ice up and crash on the first attempt thing. Remember, we're not going to talk about that. Then why do we keep bringing that up? Yes, just if you watch the VOD back, Steve-O, just skip over the first like 40 minutes. It wasn't pretty. Oh man, I didn't see this. There's a new, I clicked this link, there's a new version of this that does the whole, like, for real. So if you, like, were really using your E6B, oh man, oh mama, you could have some fun with that. That's just a link in that other E6B calculator that we shared. That's this guy right here. So I don't know how to use an E6B. I really don't. The only thing I know how to do is just get a. I mean, I'm just using it for course correction based on crosswind, right? That's the pro stuff right there. Yeah, that stuff is impressive. Those guys that I've seen a few of those tutorials. It's pretty amazing what you can do with that little calculator. So, all right, going back, just checking one last time here. This leg we were calculating what's going to be. Sorry, it was going to be 55 minutes. So yeah, we've got about another 5 minutes. We'll take another heading or another position update at, we'll call it 55. Right at 55, we'll see how close we are, and if we're close enough, we'll start on that last heading. 343 is what we'll set. We're kind of right there, honestly. Hope you guys have enjoyed what you're seeing. Again, it's very different. I know it's night flying, which is not always the funnest thing to watch. It's it's a different type of navigation, which again, yeah, it's like whatever. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. This is a bonus stream for me. It's not my normal day to stream, but I'm glad we hopped in and tried this. This was cool. Just adding a couple things to my scratch pad here. Notes for later. Things to do differently next time, that type of thing. Okay, cool. All right. No, I'm gonna calculate that, Chris, as soon as we make our final turn here, and yeah, that'll be our next thing we try to do. So this is the whole flight right here, you guys. This is what we've been working on for the last couple of hours. Here's Goose Bay. We flew up to a little airport here called the Nain Airport. Then we're almost to this point right here, and then, like I say, we just have this last little 217-mile run into Frobisher, Iqaluit Airport. (8,000 foot runway, plenty of room for us here, but Does have some approach lights, has some high intensity runway ID lights and all that good stuff, PAPIs. So should be fine for us coming in here after dark. And the wind, it's kind of nice. The wind's been sort of consistent here, so that's really helped us with our, fine tuning and getting on course. That's been really good for us. So about another minute and a half, right about 55 is when we'll do our next position update, and we'll be on our way. Make that last turn and be on our way. Torque is clear down here, 48.49, which is awesome. ITTs are super cool, and 295 TAS. It's pretty cool. One of the airports for Arctic testing. Yeah, nice. And it's the nice thing in 2020 and 2024, Beethoven, is that it's received a little bit of handcrafting. So it comes with your sim, and it's a cool little airport. I really liked it, or I have really liked it. Not airport testing, aircraft testing. Oh, I see. Sorry, it is one of the airports used for Arctic airport testing. Yeah, gotcha. No, aircraft testing. I know what you're saying. We need to grab, like, I feel like we need to fly like a C-130 in there or something, right? It's got that feel to it, but I think you guys will enjoy it. Okay. Let's see. How we doing? 60. 31.63 and 64. 43.27. Copy that. Let's come on over here. Let's see how close we are to our little peninsula. Put that guy in right there. And yeah, we're right on it. We're only about we were even better this time, only about 7 miles away. Shoot, I can live with that. Okay, so I think what that means for me is let's go ahead and turn on a 343 and let's start making our way, like I said, the last little bit here, a 42.5 minute leg, and we're currently 347. We'll turn 343. We've got ourselves a little west of course now, so we're cutting the corner just a little bit, and we'll see how that affects us. Let's restart the stopwatch, and now we need to take a look at our runway. Well, let's just take a look at our airport in general here, you guys. So let's pull this up. Navigraph charts. A little better charts on Navigraph than in SimBrief. But our airport elevation is 110 feet. So we need to be down, about 1,100, 1,200 feet for pattern altitude. And again, the winds are favoring 1.6 today, unfortunately. So that would mean, gosh, I don't know what they would fly here. Kind of feel like maybe a right-hand pattern into runway 16 would be appropriate. But in fact, I think we're just going to call that. What other information do I have here? Nothing. Very limited information for this. If I was to shoot the RNAV, what would I be doing? They actually would say you'd overfly the field and do a procedure hold and come back inbound. So we've got terrain, not too bad. 1,300 feet, 1,500 feet over there. Yeah, so I think we'll just plan for a right-hand traffic pattern to runway 16, but we need to get ourselves down, again, like I said, to like 1,100 for pattern altitude, so let's say 1,600, let's say 2,000, just a nice round number, 2,000 feet. Now, I better check something before we get too crazy here, though. So the MSA here is 4,300, but we're not going too far inland. So since we're over water, I should be able to come straight down. As long as I stay on my track, I should be able to come straight down. I've got a little bit of terrain here. So this is 4.5, so I can't descend too soon. All right, well, let's just we'll do some pilot math and figure this out here. Could do a little teardrop pattern, yeah, I suppose. And if I'm being honest, probably the first thing I'm going to want to do is just find the airport, right? So, yeah, we could maybe, I don't know. Let's figure out. So we are according to SkyVector 217 miles away. So if we need to get down from 35 to let's say we're going down 2,000, so we need to lose 33. So 33 times 3 is 99. So let's just round that up to 100. So we need to, so we're 217 miles. So roughly the halfway point, which in terms of time, if this is going to take us 42.5 minutes, so at about the 21 to 22 minute mark will roughly be our top of descent. I think that'll be all right. That'll get us over the top of so this is the only concern right here. Okay, it's this little mountain range here, which is not a tall mountain range, but tall enough. You know, they're saying 3,900. Whoops. So, you know, these are 2,700 foot peaks or so. So we should be, as long as we don't start too soon, we should be okay. I don't think any of this stuff here is high enough to worry about. Although, again, they're saying that in this little block here, 3,500, but that could be this little square right down here. It's really tough to tell. So we could wait a little bit longer, maybe. And I'm kind of thinking maybe we do that. Like, we could wait until we could descend to, you know, like 10,000 or something, where we know we're clear of everything, and then somewhere right in here, you know, you could start your final descent. That last 20 miles, you could, I suppose. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll start down at about, how about we start down after our second position check. We'll see where we're at, and we'll start down there, and we'll just initially kind of descend down to like even 6,000 feet. I think would be fine, right? Well, yeah, 6,000 would be the lowest we could get. No, we could get down to 4,000. Maybe we'll go down to 4,000 initially, and then we'll do the last 2,000 once we know we're clear of the terrain. Cody agrees with that. I feel good with that. And let's see, doing good. Outside air temp -42. Don't have to worry about the icing. When we get down, we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. Fuel pressures, oil temps and pressures, all green and happy. We are where's our yeah, 0.1 nautical mile of uncertainty right now. That's pretty dang good. And currently using Great Britain, Maine, Hawaii, even Maryland, Washington, Puerto Rico, Norway, Liberia, Hawaii. We're using a little bit of that data too. That's pretty cool. And it's doing all of that work. This is all of that work that the guy, the flight engineer, does with his paper and pencil and his Omega chart. He's scoring in his lines after he tunes in to his little Omega box. I should find a picture of that for you guys. See if I can get you a good picture of this Omega receiver. Oh man, some of these are really old. There we go. Here's a super old version of it, but so you can tune in. You can tune in the tower basically, and then it gives you a little reading here. Each one of those tracks has a number. And so it'll tell you like 9, 10 here, which tells you what track you're in, and then it gives you like a little more specific information. Each track is divided into 100 equal pieces, so it might say like 9, 10, and 75, which means that you're in the 9, 10 lane and you're 75 out of 100, and that's how you score your little line. And then you tune in the next one, whatever other one you're using, and I mean, what a job, a full-time job that would be. Some of the newer ones then got to be like this, which was nice, definitely more compact. And there's an even smaller one, but wow, how cool is that? Oh man, yeah, the stations, like they're almost 2,000 feet high, and they just have, they have the cables running all the way to the ground, and so it just takes up a massive amount of, it's just a huge footprint. Yeah, it's really something. Really cool piece of history. It's almost like, I think it's the second coolest thing to those airmail routes that the U.S. has or used to have, and where they'd have the actual like arrows on the ground pointing towards Fresno or whatever. And there's still a few of those around as well. So that was the Wild West of aviation back in the day. Okay, time for our next position check. So we're 61. We're 1891. We are 65, and we are 39. Oh, we're 40.66. And then we are grabbing this guy. So this is the tool I'm using. This is that lat long data tool. So you put it in here, degrees, decimal minutes, and that converts it to decimal degrees, this is what SkyVector likes. So let me come over here to SkyVector. And we plug this in. This will be our first one here. So let's come up like so and pop that guy in. See where we're at. Ooh, so we've drifted. We're a little bit west of course. Okay, cool. These things happen. So we need to adjust a little bit, don't we? So maybe what we tell our captain is let's take 3 degrees here. Now let's go 2 degrees. 345. I used to fly there, Southwest Virtual, Oh yeah, that was. I bet that was a good virtual airline. I like the Southwest routes, man. They do a lot of work in my neck of the woods too. Big Denver hub. Now, if we wanted to, and I'm not going to, but if we wanted to, we could theoretically, we could turn back on our VOR DME station and we could tune in the ILS, which would give us a little bit of a DME and would help us feel better about life. But I think we're just going to kind of keep rolling with it. We've done okay so far. Here was the Norwegian antenna. Oh yeah, that sucker. Yep. Oh, look at those guys. Oh my gosh. Talk about some massive cojones to be out working on that. Oh my lord. Oh wow. Those guys are, I hope those guys are making $1 million a year doing this job. Holy cow. Wow. Yeah, that's really something. Let me see if I can find the there were some pretty good pictures of this. One guy actually went in the sim and took some pictures of it. Let me see if I can find that. I don't think this is the search, but it was pretty cool. He found like 4 or 5 of them that still showed on Google Earth, basically. Yeah, I'll try to look for it, see if I can find it, or you guys can do the same thing. But I was surprised to see, even though the towers weren't there, like all of the, like you could clearly see, you know, the all the stuff that they needed to for the foundation and all that stuff. Okay, so descent planning time, guys. When we get to 20, we're going to do one more position check. We're going to see where we're at. We're going to start to descend down, and we said 6,000. So I'm going to preset that. And or did I say 4,000? No, 6,000. We'll go 6,000, and then we can the last. We'll hopefully within 20 miles of the actual airport. Then we can come down that last, 4,000. 4 times 3 is 12. We only need 12 miles. So we're going to start the descent just a little bit early, so that we can level off, and when we get down to 6,000, we should be below the cloud. My last weather report into Iqaluit was scattered at 17,000. So we should be below the clouds. One of the things I've not dug into a whole lot here is all this trip planning stuff. It really has a robust set of controls here in this old Collins, and that's one of the things you can do. Gives you your gives you your top of descent and all that good stuff. It's pretty impressive, honestly, and we're not even really using it. uh, oh, so you've got one. Yeah, there's a few. There's a few that are. So I thought it'd be kind of cool if we have some time in the sim to just to try to fly over one of these sites and see. There's one in North Dakota that's not too far out of the way from. I mean, nothing's very far out of the way really for you in the sim because you can take off from wherever you want. But the North Dakota one would be the one that's closest to where I live, and so I think it'd be kind of fun to try to see. I'm not sure if that's one of the ones that has actually a footprint left or not, but everybody's asleep back here. That's all I can say. We could turn some lights on if we wanted to. I think you have the ability to. Hard to find the click spots in here. Oh yeah, get a little reading light going. Yeah, you know, you do your thing back here. Oops. Enjoy a little novel. All right, have we corrected? That's going to be the question here. About another 2 minutes. So we'll take our airspeed 300, cut it in half. That's 150. So we're going to descend 1,500 feet per minute. That'll be the goal, and try to hold roughly our airspeed we have right now. There we go. Chris has got it. Yes, sir. That's exactly what I'm talking about. How cool is that? Right? And you can see that in the sim, both in Microsoft and in X-Plane if you're using map enhancement. You can fly right over that sucker and see it. Now it looks like it's been maybe repurposed as a naval communications tower. Cool. I wondered about that. I'm like, that'd make a pretty cool cell phone tower, wouldn't it? You could have some serious range, man. You could dominate. Okay, lat and long. One more time here, and then we'll start to descend. So 61, we're 58.87. And then 66, we're 30.11. Convert that sucker to Simbri friendly language here, or numbers I should say. And let's plug it in right before our final spot. And yeah, we're still just a little bit west, of course, so we'll do a little bit of a correction to the right, but 96 miles traveled, 121 to go. We're not quite halfway. So, but we said about 100 miles would be when we'd want to start to make our descent. So if we start this right now, it's 20 miles early, but that's exactly what we want, because then we'll be down to 6,000 with still 20 some miles to go, and then we can do the rest. Okay, so let's see if I can get to this is always a tricky click spot here. There's 10 clicks. Does that give me about 1,000? Yeah, pretty close. Go 5 more. It's not quite exactly 100 per click, but it's pretty close. Oh, that's perfect. And what's tough about this, it's kind of hard to see, you guys, but this is the wheel, but if you click off to the side, it's also one of the trims, so it'll freaking adjust your aileron trim, or sorry, your rudder trim if you're not careful. But I can totally live with that. That's just a smidgen over 1,500 feet a minute. And as you can see, we're gaining some airspeed. So I'm just going to bring the power back a little bit and try to hold where we're at. Something like that I think should be pretty good. Okay. On our way down, you guys. How cool is that? Oh, and we said we were going to try to adjust, like, what do you think? Let's go a 5-degree adjustment to the east. We're not far off, honestly. I mean, it's surprising how close we've stayed on track. Now, of course, again, that would not be possible without the Collins doing all the heavy lifting. If I was sitting here with, an Omega chart trying to do it myself, yeah, we would be halfway to Australia by now. Okay, we're heading down the hill. Guys, I'm going to go grab another load of laundry and fold that while we're in descent. So give me 2 minutes and I'll be right back with you. I'm back with you. Keep the stream camera off for now because you don't need to see my socks and underwear anyway. But we're heading down the hill. Got about another 3 minutes until we make another position check. And all my work clothes are now clean. Gonna be a cold one this week, I think. Coldest one we've had, so far this year. I think the highs are going to get above freezing all week long. So it's layer up time. Airspeed's looking good. Outside air temp is holding pretty steady, so not yet in icing. We're going to be going through the cloud layer though, so we'll keep a close eye on that. Through the visible moisture, as it were. Yeah, it looks nice until now, right? Usually this place, well, I shouldn't say usually, I don't know, but I've flown into or out of this place probably 5 or 6 times, and it's never not, I mean, it's never been VFR. So this will be the first time, if we get down there, this will be the first time that I've ever been there in VFR conditions, so I'm pretty happy about that. And I wouldn't have attempted a flight up here had it not been VFR because, well, yeah. Band Slam, what's up? Happy Sunday. All right, 30 seconds. Let's get another position check. Let's see how we're doing here. We're just about done with these, you guys. 62. Whoops. 62, 45.67, and 67, 24.33. Convert that, copy that. Let's bring it on over and see how we're doing. Let's get rid of that one and replace it with this one. Oh man, we're just about on, aren't we? We're just about there. So 68 miles to go. We want to be down. We've got 14 to lose. Yeah, we're in good shape here, guys. We're in good shape. Band Slam, lurk away, my friend. Hope things are good in your world. Thanks for coming in, man. I don't know. I have, well, let's tune it and let's find out. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, it's up here. I can tune this. What you said that YFY is 204. Let's try it. Let's see. 204.0. Yeah, let's just, I don't know, let's check it out. We've got ADF1. Oh yeah, sure enough. Well, let's see. That might not be doing anything just yet, but kind of acts like it's trying to find something. Yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave it on for a little while and see. Kind of feel like that's cheating a little bit. You know you're navigating old school when an NDB is cheating. All right, Jeffrey B. and company. Welcome in, my friend. How did your Challenger flight go? We need to update our altimeter. 2962.
It's Jeffrey.
You got it, man. That's cool. I'm happy for you, man. That's not an easy aircraft to deal with. Sweet. Good deal, man. For close range nav, why not use it? All right, Chris, you've convinced me, man. You made me feel less bad about myself. Well, I'm glad it went good for you, and I look forward to seeing you put that bad boy on stream. Hey, we got Joel coming in too. Wow. Hey, how's it going, Raiders? Welcome. Caught me right in the middle of the old classic Omega navigation / folding Sunday night close. So, you know, if right, Joel, if you had a nickel for every time someone caught you between Omega navigation and folding close, right, you'd be a rich man. Marco, what's up? You didn't disconnect the auto throttle system correctly, so you end up overspeeding. Well, got it figured out. Yeah, just got it. Yeah, it's a quirky bird, I think, but I think that's what people love about it, right? Oh, that would be fun. That would be fun. You know, we kind of had like a little, almost a shared cockpit with Boozy and Henshaw last night. So, in the 747. But that's right, Chris. Chris has convinced me to give this a try. And I have to say, it's actually gone pretty well. We're still in Canada, so that's a good thing. With any luck, we're going to make our way down to Iqaluit here in about the next 20 minutes or so. So you came at just the right time, you guys. Although you missed the initial departure out of Goose Bay, where I may or may not have completely iced over and crashed on the runway. Grandpa, you've done it? Nice. Omega 3. The visual help hills. That's a good one, man. I like this guy. Welcome in, Grandpa. Oh, it was hilarious, Chris, wasn't it? I mean, and I really respect Boozy for trying that. It's really hard to you know, bust out a brand new airplane on stream. You know, that's a really challenging thing to do. So for him to do that and then do as well as he did, because he really did pretty well. It's a pretty cool thing. All right, guys, I tell you what, I'm getting close to having my laundry done too. It's a win. It's just nothing but wins. What's that song go? All I do is win, win, win. That's me right now. I'm navigating. I think maybe we even have Iqaluit in sight. I think we have an NDB that we're tracking as well. So this would indicate to me, although this is wandering a little bit, that we're maybe still a little bit west of course. Yeah, it's a light. Don't you think, Chris? Don't you think that's probably our town? Maybe our airport? I think it might be. This last leg was only supposed to be like 52 minutes or something like that, right? Pull my chart up again here. 42.5. So we're getting there. We're 5 minutes out is all. Heck yeah, I'd be making radio calls if I was on VATSIM right now. How are we doing? Outside air temp is 24. Kind of in the visible moisture here, aren't we? Let's be proactive, since we may or may not have had an icing issue before. Not saying we did, not saying we didn't. Okay. The plan, by the way, is to get ourselves down. We're definitely over the open water right now, so I think we're going to just keep on going down. We've lost our rate of descent just a little bit, though, so I think it's because we're speeding up. So the plan is to hop in a right-hand downwind for runway 16. I'm going to get it all the way down to 2,000. We're going to go ahead and yeah, we're almost going to be back to flight idle here. Let me see if I can. See, I just clicked my. Okay, let's get ourselves heading back down. We were trying to do 1,500 foot a minute, and we leveled off a little bit, so we may have lost our descent slightly. Oh, I see the field. I'm not sure, but I think, Chris, we've done it. We've actually done it. Goose Bay to Iqaluit. We've at least found the airport. Now, can I land there? That's a whole other thing. But some low clouds, but I think we're gonna be there, guys. Doggone it. Lights can come on. Iqaluit traffic. Starship November 11816 is 10 miles south of the field. We're inbound. You're going to join the right-hand traffic pattern 16, Iqaluit traffic. And our laundry is done, Iqaluit traffic. Yeah, we're not on VATSIM for reals. Cool. Cool, very cool. And I think that NDB worked perfectly, Chris, because look at where the NDB is located here. Just a little bit south and kind of west of the runway. I think that NDB is pointing us right where we want it to be. Ah ha 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 ha. The rest is routine. Yes, one would think. Let's find out. Trying to get our speed under control still. Might give us a little bit more RPMs just to slow down. We need to kind of get ourselves back into flaps range. I think under 200. Almost back to flight idle here. But I'm happy. I'm really happy. That ain't half bad. So that's 3 hours. Yeah, that's. This was a 2 hour and 41 minute flight at night over terrain with no roads, no towns. no VORs, and all of our calculations. Our flight engineer did a tremendous job. I would have to say, that's pretty cool. That's pretty dang cool. That's really cool. I want to fly. Mind, guys? Can I fly? Let's set the course to 160. Use that as a little bit of a guide, and I'm going to make it a little bit of a bigger pattern here. This thing, it's no F-22, so let's give it some room to work here, huh? Give it some room to breathe. Doesn't look right. What's my actual here? 161. Yeah, that should be it. 161. Okay. And taking ourselves down to like 1100. That's pattern altitude. Airspeed is down pretty good. Probably a little slow, honestly, but I'm okay with that. If we have to go missed for whatever reason, I'm just going to fly runway heading and climb up to like 3,000 and just try it again. If we get up at 3,000, we're going to be above all the terrain. Does not look like I'm flying parallel to that runway, does it? Equiluate traffic. Starship 816 is entering a right-hand downwind runway 16. Equiluate traffic. All right. Everything is good. Anti-icing is on. Outside air temps -10. We're definitely kind of in that mist haze sort of, neighborhood. So I'm glad we have all that on. I'm gonna keep the descent going, but I'm gonna kind of try to level off just a little bit here. 700 feet a minute until we get a beam. I don't want to get any slower, so we're just going to put a little bit of something in there. I'm going to adjust this guy because he's going to keep yelling at us if I don't. Okay, there we go. Looks good. Oh, you fell asleep? Broker, my stream has that effect on people. It really does. Welcome back. You're right back at the right time. First notch of flaps coming out. I'm going to look for an approach speed of about 140 as I turn to final. I'm at 1500. I'm happy with that. Equiluate traffic. Starship 816 is right downwind 16 a beam midfield. Equiluate traffic. On the one hand, well, actually, I'm actually not sad that happened, because that just shows that it was a routine flight. Nothing too exciting, so that's all right. I'm okay with that. And I got to be careful because it's a little bit of elevation here, so I'm trying not to get too low too soon, but I think we're kind of clear of everything. Yeah, I think we're doing okay. Down we go. little slow. Add some power. 140. Again, it's just my unofficial approach speed here. I don't know what it is exactly. I have it written down somewhere, but I'm afraid to look because I'm afraid I'm going to lose sight of the field. Might be time to turn base here. What do you say? Equiluit traffic. Starship 816 is right base 16. Equiluit. All right, let's do it. We can descend a bit. Probably a little high, but nervous about the hills here, so can understand. Yep, Rad Out's saying I'm less than 1,000 now, so that's okay. Okay, let's roll out. Let's see where we're at. Oh, not bad. Equiluit traffic. Starship 816 is turning final 16 Equiluit. So we are just a little bit high, but it's okay. I'm going to do the look away, Jeffrey. I'm putting my gear down on base instead of on final. Don't hate me. I'm a little slow. Yep, I think it's telling me that. Caution, caution. Speed up. Okay, we're carving it in, baby. Yeah, we're all right. We're all right. Missed it a little bit. Final notch of flaps are out. Here comes the airspeed back up. Gonna try to ref it at about 125, honestly. Could be a little high, but we've got 8,000 feet to work with here, so I think we're all right. Let's see the butter. This has got such a stiff suspension. It feels, every one that I ever do, it always feels like just rock hard. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. About as buttery as I can do in this plane. It just feels like it's like got no give, but that's all right. We're down. We found it. We're down. Life is good. That wasn't half bad. I'll take that. Oh, I'm gonna miss that turn off. Arg. Come back and get it. Just like the pros. Welcome to Equiluit. Local time is 0:30. We go straight in here. There's another one up a little farther north called Deer Lake, which is quite cool. Another one of those that just comes with the scenery. We're going to pull right in here to the cargo hub like a boss. Yeah, man, you encouraged me to do it, Chris. I appreciate it. Thanks for the help, by the way. You provided lots of help along the way. Okay, parking brake is set. Let's turn some lights off. And okay, we gotta let things kind of cool off a little bit here, right? That goes up here. We go back to low on the condition lever. We're gonna turn off. We're gonna start by turning off avionics. We never did. We missed a few things here. Didn't do any auto feather. Didn't do any engine sync. That would have helped a lot. Standby pumps could have also been turned off a long time ago. Those can come off, and I think we're probably good here. Boom. Cut it, and let's see what else. And all my all my anti-icing stuff on. Probably, well, it didn't tell me that I overcooked the pitot heat, so that's good. Get there. Anything over here? I don't think I did have anything over here. Happy Saturday, TFB. What's up, my friend? Hey, we just made it into Iqaluit, Canada, and yeah, man, I'm happy. I'm happy as can be. We did a whole Omega navigation all the way from Goose Bay, and we used a couple points here. We used the Nain Airport, and then we used this little island out here on the point here. And I'll be darned if we didn't manage to find the airport. It was kind of cool. I wonder what it looks like. Let's look at the Elevate X. I wonder if it has my waypoint. Goose Bay to Iqaluit. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Whoops. That was the that was the mess up. So the first time, we have a little landing report here, by the way, because the first time we did it, we put it down accidentally with because we were a block of ice. But the second time, let's check our track. Let's see how we did. Kind of got going. We made like a little bit of a course adjustment. You could see a little bit more. There was the first airport. We passed a little bit to the west of that first airport, but that's okay. Kind of tracked pretty well here, a little west of the island, but that's okay. And then about right here, we picked up that NDB, so we're able to really get dialed in and put her down. What's the final stats say, you guys? 1.05 G, a $1.44. I'll take that any day of the week, man. Any day of the week. So that was cool. Let's end that flight, complete it, and add it to our list, our log. That was okay. That stream started out kind of rough with the icing incident, but ended up being pretty dang fun. So appreciate you guys again being here and hanging out. I am going to, let's see. Yeah, let's close things up. This is going to be it for me. It's a little bonus stream, but let's shut things down. We'll figure out where we're going to go next.
Thanks for watching my papa.
All right. Your next project is with your German home streamer doing a little VFR work. Nice. Heck yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing those ideas. It's awesome. All right, I'm off tomorrow, but it'll be December. I'm back on Tuesday, hopefully. And again, guys, I know I've been doing earlier in the day on Tuesdays, but I think I'm gonna have to start working on Tuesdays. So I actually have a little backup plan for Tuesday evening. So look for me next week, Tuesday, Thursday at 1 a.m. Zulu. That's 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast of the U.S. And then on Saturday, the Boston guys have their 60 hours of BVA RTCC. So that's my stream schedule next week, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. The Saturday one will hopefully be a little bit earlier unless I'm called to work. But all of that is over there, by the way, on my Discord channel. If you are interested, come hang out. We have a really great Discord channel. Broker, you are very welcome. And thank you for coming by. Have a good night's sleep. Nice to meet you. Yep. TFB, you're also off tomorrow? Dang, man, what are the chances, my dude? What are the chances? Chris, again, thank you so much for all your inspiration and help with this thing. It was great flying with you. I want to say thank you to Jeffrey B. for the raid. I want to thank Flights with Joel for the raid. I want to thank Good Fixins for the re-ascription, Slant Alpha also for the re-ascription, and Whip came in with a nice raid as well. Thanks, Captain Whip. And then anybody else who was here as well, thank you so much. Something weird is happening in Ibanez's stream. Weird in a cool way. We're going to go check it out. So please stay with the raid. Head over there. Say hey to Joe. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. Have a good rest of your evening, and happy Monday tomorrow for those of you that live in the future.